Good day, my name is Rasa Caspe and I'm tasked to discuss about Chapter 7, Global Segmentation and Positioning. Before we go through with the discussion, let's have a chapter overview of the topics. First, reasons for international market segmentation. Second, international market segmentation approaches. Third, segmentation scenarios. Fourth, basis for international market segmentation. Fifth, international positioning strategies. And lastly, global, foreign, and local consumer culture positioning. Now, we will give meaning to the keywords in this chapter: market segmentation and market positioning in a global scale. First, market segmentation is a tool that is used to identify and categorize group of customer and countries according to common characteristics. Now, with this in mind, variation in customer needs is the primary motive of segmenting the market. When a consumer preferences vary, marketers can design a marketing mix program that is tailored towards to the needs of the specific segments that the firm targets. Let's go to market positioning. Now, market positioning is used to differentiate the product or a brand in the minds of the target market. So locating a brand in consumer minds over and against competitor in terms of attributes and benefits that the brand does and does not offer. Now let's go ahead and discuss the first topic on this chapter, which is reasons for international market segmentation. Now, the goal of market segmentation is to break down the market for a product or a service into different groups of consumers who differs in their response. The effectiveness of the segments ideally should possess the following set of properties. First, is the segment identifiable? The segment should be easy to define and to measure. The intended product should easily meet the objective. Second, is the segment sizable? The segment should be large enough for it to be worth going after. Third, is the segment accessible? The segment should be easy to reach through promotional and distributional efforts. Fourth, is the segment stable? The segment should be stable enough to withstand the flow of the changes in the composition or behavior over time. Fifth, is the segment responsive? It is important that the segments respond differently from each other to a differentiated marketing mix. Sixth, is the segment actionable? The segments are actionable if the marketing mix necessary to address their needs is consistent with the goals and the core competencies of the company. Let us now consider the major reasons why international marketers implement international market segmentation. First, country screening. Second, global marketing research. Third, entry decisions. Fourth, positioning strategy. Fifth, resource allocation. And lastly, marketing mix policy. Let's go ahead and first discuss the first reason. Now, country screening is the process of scanning international markets with the intention of identifying and assessing opportunities for expansion. Companies usually do a preliminary screening of countries before identifying attractive market opportunities for their product or service. Its main purpose is to answer the question, should we enter the country or not? Second, global marketing research. is the collection and analysis of information that companies undertake in a country that isn't their domestic market. It helps companies understand their current or potential customers in international markets. Third is entry decisions. It is a process where the company decides to expand their business globally. So when a product or service does well in one country, firms often hope to replicate their success story in another countries. Fourth, positioning strategy. It is a marketing strategy to promote the company's product or service to customers relative to competing brands. The goal is to establish a single defining characteristics for the company's brand in the consumer's mind. Fifth, resource allocation. It is the process of assigning and managing assets in a manner that supports an organization's strategic planning goals. It involves balancing competing needs and priorities, and determining the best course of action to maximize the use of limited resources and to get the best return on investment. And lastly, the marketing mix policy. It is a set of controllable tactical marketing tools that a company uses to produce a desired response from its target market. Now, this is where the product, price, place, and promotion comes in. These are the key elements that involve in introducing a product or service to the public. Let's discuss the second topic, which is international market segmentation approaches. Now, global marketers approach the segmentation process from a different angles. Segmentation is an important strategic tool in international marketing because the main difference between calling a firm international and global is based on the scope and basis of segmentation. An international firm has different marketing strategies for different segments of countries, while a global firm views the whole world based on viable segmentation basis. Generally, there are three approaches to segmentation in international marketing. First, country-based segmentation. Second, consumer-based segmentation. And third, hybrid universal segmentation. Let's discuss the first approach, which is country-based segmentation. It is also called macro segmentation. It identifies clusters of countries that demand similar products. It uses geographic, demographic, and socioeconomic variables such as location, gross national profit per capita or income, population size or family size to group countries into market segments. This strategy enables a company to centralize its operation and to save on production, sales, logistics, and support functions. However, macro segmentation or country-based segmentation doesn't take into consideration the consumers' differences within each country and among the country markets that are clustered together. It fails to acknowledge the existence of segments that go beyond the borders of a particular geographic region. That's why the second approach was created, which is the consumer-based segmentation, also called micro-segmentation. It involves grouping consumers based on common characteristics. Now with this, it is using psychographic and behavioristic segmentation variables such as cultural preferences, values and attitudes, lifestyle choices. However, similar needs does not always imply within a particular consumer, and they are not always easy to pinpoint the motivations as it greatly vary from person to person. Now, with the disadvantages present in using the macro and micro segmentation to international market, the third approach was created in response, which is the hybrid or universal segmentation. It combines multiple types of customer segmentation models to form a unique segmentation strategy. It enables you to target different customers with the right messages with the company's approach. Now, the third topic is segmentation scenarios. When a firm segments foreign markets, different scenarios may arise. A common phenomenon is shown here where we have one universal segment and other segments are either unique to a particular country or exist in only 2 or 3 countries. Now the first scenario is global segments. It is used when there is a group of consumers with common needs that cross national borders. With this picture, it's shown here that both the 3 countries X, Y, Z have the same segments, which is AB, and the country Z has A. So in this scenario, the 3 countries have 3 similarities. Now the second scenario is regional segments. The similarity in customer needs and preferences exist at the regional level rather than globally. Basing on the picture again, it's shown here that both country X and Y exhibits the same regional segment similarity. And lastly, the unique segments, a scenario that is unique to that country only. Now, basing on the figure in here, only country Z has a unique segments that is only attribute to its own country. Let's discuss the fourth topic, which is basis for international market segmentation. There are 3 bases that the marketers created in order for them to segment the market internationally. First, demographics. Demographic variables are among the most popular segmentation criteria. It is mainly because the information is readily available. Second is the socioeconomic variables. This is where the income of a country that they are trying to segment comes in. Now, before they are going to segment the country, they are going to check first the indicator. First indicator is the monetization of transactions within a country. This is where the currency of the country takes place. They are going to check how much is the product value in that country. Second is the gray and black sectors of the economy. Now, for the gray and black sectors of the economy, it is where it shows what are the bad sides in that specific country, like what are the drawbacks in that country if ever they are going to segment. Third is the income disparities. Now, income disparities, this is about the buying power of the country. This is where the purchasing power parity comes in. It shows how much of the consumer or the country is able to, or the company is able to make a profit on that specific country. Second is the socioeconomic strata analysis. This is where the 5 segments, social segments, stratified. This is where the middle to upper class, middle class, lower class, and poverty level comes in. Now lastly is the Human Development Index classification. It is where the economic development of a country's achievements in the 3 areas the company must check: life expectancy at birth, the knowledge and the decent standard of living of a country before they are going to segment the market. Now the third basis for international market segmentation is behavior-based segmentation. It is a marketing segmentation process in which customers are divided by their behavior patterns when interacting with the business. This is where the lifestyle segmentation comes in, because the company uses the degree of the consumer's loyalty, usage rate, and the product penetration and the benefits that's sought after by the company. Let's discuss international positioning strategies. Segmenting international markets is only part of the process. Once the multinational company has segmented its foreign markets, the firm needs to decide which target markets to pursue and what positioning strategy to use to appeal to the chosen segments. With that thought in mind, they were able to formulate a positioning strategy. First, identify a relevant set of competing product or brands. Second, determine current perceptions held by consumers about your product or brand and the competition. Third, develop possible positioning themes. Fourth, screen the positioning alternatives and select the most appealing one. Fifth, develop a marketing mix strategy that will implement the chosen positioning strategy. Lastly, over time, monitor the effectiveness of your positioning strategy and, if needed, conduct an audit. The first positioning strategy is uniform versus localized positioning strategies. When target customers are very similar worldwide, sharing common core values and showing similar buying patterns, a uniform positioning strategy will probably work. By adopting a common positioning theme, the company can project a shared, consistent brand or corporate image worldwide. While a uniform positioning theme may be desirable, it is often very hard to come up with a good positioning theme that appeals to various markets. Instead, the management usually modifies or localizes them. Appeals that work in one culture does not necessarily work in others. Differences in cultural characteristics, buying power, competitive climate, and the product life cycle stage force firms to tailor their positioning platform. The second positioning strategy is the universal positioning appeals. The universal positioning appeals are positioning themes that appeal to consumers anywhere in the world, regardless of their cultural background. The positioning themes can be developed in different levels. First is specific product features attributes. Second is product benefits or solutions for problems. Third, user category. Fourth, heritage. And lastly, lifestyle. Products that offer benefits or features that are universally important would meet the criterion of a universal benefit feature positioning appeal. In business-to-business markets, where buying behavior is often somewhat less culture-bound, than consumer goods, this is often true. Global, foreign, and local culture positioning. Now, the marketers created a positioning that would cater to the culture of any specific given market segment. Now, the first culture positioning is global consumer culture positioning. It is a strategy that tries to project the brand as a symbol of a given global consumer culture, which means that whenever you try to purchase the product of any specific brand globally, they were able to make you feel that you are part of a global context. For example, in here it's Starbucks, Apple, and Nike. So whenever you try to purchase a global product, marketers make you feel that you are cut, like you are the, like you're able to like above rather than the rest of the masses. Next is the local consumer culture positioning, a strategy that despite the fact that the brand may be global, it is portrayed as an intrinsic part of the local culture. So it means to say that even though the product is already global, it has already been become part of the culture of the locals. Example in here is the Nestle and the Procter and Gamble. Now Nestle produces products like Nescafe and Bear Brand. They were able to segment or to position their product based on the taste and the preferences here in the Philippines, as well as the Procter and Gamble. They were able to produce Tide and Colgate, and they implicate that they use, for example, Tide as a staple whenever you try to wash your clothes. They already embedded the minds of the consumers that these products are best, or their products are best in regards to this kind of situation. And lastly, the foreign consumer culture positioning. It is a strategy that builds up a brand mystique around a specific foreign culture, usually one that has highly positive connotations for the product. It is a strategy that the marketers created in order for the, like, they can say that this brand is only that they were able to produce, they already created that, for example, watch. They Japan has good watches, example Seiko, so they already embedded, Japan created a good watches. So the marketers were able to create a positioning strategy in the minds of the people. Now let's go ahead for the case study. Coach selling handbags overseas. Now the summary for this case study is that Coaches, the handbag brand, wanted to replicate its Japan's success to China. Now for the discussion questions, will Coach be able to replicate its Japan success stories in China? Basing on the case study in here, it is they were not able to replicate their success story in Japan. It is mainly because they were not able to replicate their success in China. It is mainly because China has income disparity. Then they were able to worship European luxury brands, and Coach apparently has a late entry in China market. And lastly, China were able to create a counterfeit items for their handbags. Now, why was the firm successful in Japan? The reason why the firm was successful in Japan, it is mainly because the Japan has higher willingness to adapt Western culture and brands. The brand awareness has already been established, and they have a flatter distribution of income. So there is no income disparity among consumers. Now, the second question is reflect on coach's targeting strategy. What are the alternatives? Coach decided to focus on the emerging middle class. Do you agree? Now, the targeting strategy of China is women under 25 years old that is that are teenager or college students, and they were able to set up major cities like Beijing and Hong Kong. Also, their alternatives is to launch limited edition bags for wealthy classes. And also, they were able to create brand awareness using influential celebrities. And the last question, around the time that Coach announced its Asia expansion drive, the global economy entered into a deep recession. To what extent would the recession affect Coach's strategy in Asia, primarily Japan and China? Would Coach need to revisit its plan? If so, how? Since global economy has entered into a deep recession, Coach's strategy has been revised in order for since of what happened globally. Now, luxury goods got hit by the economic downturn, and the new strategy needs to be developed to lower the price. So, in what happened was they were only able to set up flagship store in major cities, and also they were able to maximize the use of department stores as sales channels. So I guess that is all the topic that I'll be discussing today. Thank you for listening. Good day.